Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Hope everyone can hear me. Please let me know if you can't, because this is new. So I don't know if anyone can hear me. I hope everyone can. So I'm just going to play it by ear and just hope that people can hear me. Because if not, I haven't got a clue. Hope everyone's doing well, though. Let's get into it, shall we? So this is going to take me a little while. So bear with me. Uh, let's just do this. Right. And then we do that. And then we do that. And then hopefully that has come up. There we go. Wonderful stuff. Right. So we're doing Arsenal news for tonight's show. Let's see how we get on. Okay. I'm hoping people can hear me. I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a Scooby. Yes, big up to Chris saying yes, we can. Big up to Chris saying yes, thank you very much. Evening to Starkey. PB can hear me as well. Excellent. Right. Just bear in mind this is all new to us. Well, it's new to me. I've not done this, so this is I'm delving into the unknown, but I'm glad everyone can hear me. I'm just going to double check that it's streaming to everywhere it should do, because currently I'm slightly worried that it's not streaming everywhere, because weirdly you don't get told people watching. So this is going to be interesting, isn't it? But I will get onto the news very shortly, I promise. Yes, people are watching. Excellent stuff. Fantastic. Big up to Angie M. Hope you're doing well, Angie. But yes, right, let's get into it. So bear with me, because I have to do this all very differently. Right, start with Zubimendi. So the Zubimendi deal could be announced anytime, but what won't happen is the first payment will not happen until the 1st of July. This was the agreement between Real Sociedad and Arsenal. The way that we've done this is for Real Sociedad's accounts, and how they've agreed to it and how we've agreed to it is by we are not paying the release clause in one. We are paying him a specific amount, which is slightly more than the release clause, and we'll be paying in installments. So it suits us, it suits them. So it just basically it's just perfect for everybody. It's it's all good as far as I'm concerned. So that's the main thing. So yeah. So big up everyone watching. This is a bit weird, I have to be honest. It is a whole new experience, and I'm not sure if I like it, but we'll persevere. That's the Zubimendi. It's as simple as that. I'm not concerned. I know a lot of people have been concerned because of the way that he's phrased things and the way that questions have been asked, and obviously, I think it was a Madrid zone came in and caused a ruckus with some stories and stuff like that. And look, at the end of the day, it is what it is. This is the transfer market. You are going to get craziness. And I'm not concerned by it at all. Just let it all play out, unfortunately. There's a slide shortly where just let the media play their games, just stay calm and relax about it, honestly, because it's definitely not going to be a big problem, in my opinion. There is a vote, a poll in the chat as well, which I just need to get up actually because I can't. Oh, this is so new to me. Right, so do you feel our transfer? Oh, yeah. Well, it was meant to be. How do you feel our transfer window will go? But I did it in a very quick rush. 40% so far are saying good, none are saying bad, and 60% are saying average. Yep. There's definitely a lot of Arsenal fans with PTSD, isn't there? Simple as that, isn't it? Look, at the end of the day, I get it. So I'm definitely not going to have a moan about the people that have got PTSD with Arsenal windows, because they have been bad, and they have been underwhelming over the past. But we do have a new man in control, and Mikel has less control. So, in my opinion, that's a good thing. Sesko saga explained. Now, I know there's been a lot said about Sesko, and not in a positive for Arsenal. I'm not concerned again. I feel that, he will be in an Arsenal shirt. I think you'll either hear this week or next week, deal agreed, blah, 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 blah. And then once he's in an Arsenal shirt, once he's at the club, I will tell you exactly how it happened. So I'm really not concerned at all in the slightest about this. So, yeah, honestly, I get where the concern is for people, but honestly, guys, just relax. It'll be fine. So yeah, that's the Sesko situation explained, because there's nothing more else that I can say about it. It will just play out in the media the way that it's playing out. Unfortunately, just that's the way it is. Right, so our objectives of 7 is on course. So that this 7 signings minimum is what we're trying to do. There's obviously positions that we need to do: goalkeeper, a new defender, a midfielder, and then hopefully, I'm going to say 4 forwards, but I'm going to be very careful. So one's going to be a cam, which is going to be more attacking minded than what Odegaard is. So a bit more like Fabio Vieira, where he just gets the ball and just attacks. So that's the one position, and then you've got the right winger, left winger, and striker. And Chris is saying a very good one here, Leroy Sané, when it wants to come up, that is. I hope we don't sign Leroy Sané. Now, with Leroy Sané, I wish people would say it's... see, a lot of people think Leroy Sané is going to be the 11. He's not going to be the 11. He's going to be a backup. He's basically a Sterling replacement. That's basically what he is. What you've got to put in your mind is Sané better than Sterling? In my opinion, yes, he is. So there we go. He's going to cover Saka majority of the time. He'll be used as a sub. He'll probably play a couple of games from the beginning to give someone a rest. That's pretty much his role. And I do expect him to be better than Sterling. I was hoping Sterling would pan out, but it just didn't, which is a shame. But I'm fine. Leroy's got the decision now. It's all in his hands. No one else can decide for him. It's to do with his family, and so we've got to wait and see. We just got to wait and see. I think his decision will be made, in my opinion, within 2 or 3 weeks. I don't think it's to be a quick one. I don't think the decision will be that quick, because it is to do with his family as well. And it is quite a big decision. I know he's got an offer from Munich. He's got so yeah, I'm fine about it, if I'm honest. Maybe hang on 2 secs. I've got to try and work out how to do this, because they don't all come up. Right. Let's just have a look. There we go. Maybe I accept him as the 4th attacker signed. So, are you saying striker, left winger? You want a 3rd forward as well, like another striker or something like that? Is that what you're trying to say there? But for me, Sané is a Sterling replacement, so I'm absolutely fine about it, if I'm honest. Big up to Michael, saying hi, Bobby, hi all. What have I missed? Not much, to be fair. Me struggling with this new stream. But yeah, I'm getting there. Never see. Oh, mate. The problem is, I had a feeling this would happen, because there's 2 windows. Obviously the deadline day is today, but it reopens again in 6 days. but it doesn't mean nothing happens for the next 6 days, because I can guarantee there'll be lots happening within the next 6 days, just like it has before the window opened. It will be no different, apart from no confirmations will be able to be done. Like, you won't see. Well, in actual fact, you probably will see players in new shirts, because they can present them anytime they want. But the documentation has to be done today. If not, it has to be waited for 6 more days. That's it. Literally, that's all the difference is between the two windows. Oh, okay. So the cam, yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I've got no issues with that. So yeah, cam fine, 100% Michael. But yeah, it's just honestly, it's very hard when it's not like the good old days, especially with me and Brent. The good old days just teletext, where there were some rumors sometimes, and then it's confirmed on teletext. Now you literally can read stories that can go back 18 months over one transfer, 6 months, weeks. But yeah, it's stressful. I see where it's coming from for stress, because it is rather annoying. Big up to Cole. Not much, to be fair. I've obviously talked about Zubimendi and Sesko. Just relax. Just relax on the whole situation. It's not stressful. I'm very relaxed about it all. A lot of stuff will be worked out within the next 2 weeks. A lot of it, and you just got to just ride the tide. But yeah. Yeah, hi Brent. Yep, it's a joke, just triggering people, arguing, etc. It's not good, but people should really know. Game now, you think at you. Oh, it's mad. It's mad. Sesko done deal, Subi done deal, Kepa done deal. Yeah, I'm not concerned about any of them, I'll be honest. My head loss over Sesko is because I'm on my knees for an out centre forward, says Dylan. I think with Sesko, I get where people are worried that Sesko is not the answer for some people. That's fine. But as I've said many times, if someone said, who do I want out the two, I'm picking Sesko. That's not just for talent or price. It's for the whole combination. And for me, I wanted Sesko last summer. I just did. It's just the way it is. But 1 year later, I'm fine, because he's had 1 more year's experience. Less likely to be a Nunes. No offense to Darwin, but that was a risk that was not worth taking. Højlund is another prime example. Yes, Sesko didn't exactly light up the Bundesliga, but in all fairness, Leipzig were pretty poor, and Sesko was playing in a different position. So I'm not concerned. With the new left winger, with Saka on the right, Sesko down the middle, I'm all for that. And with a cam behind Sesko as well, yeah, delicious. Absolutely delicious. Exactly. It was very different with Teletext. It was a much more simpler time. Chris says, how many do you think we get done before we go to Asia? I expect sorry, I'm going to this may take me a while just to work it out. I'm going to expect 4 to 5 done by the time we start pre-season. I can't see why any more would wait. I do think the defender might take a while. That's nothing to do with Arsenal. It's just we're just going to just see how the market plays out. But we might wait a little bit on that. Kepa's very simple to do. Sane, it's all in his court. You've got Rodrygo, Anthony Gordon, Paxial. Loads of different situations on the left wing. With Rodrygo, he's going to be playing at the Club World, whatever you call it, championships or whatever, bloody thing's called. So that's going to be a sticky point. But again, pre-season, I just can't see why we wouldn't get the majority of the big, important squad players in for pre-season, personally. So yeah, Sane rumours still about. Well, at the end of the day, he's got to make the decision. It's in his hands now. He's going to decide stuff that is for the family. He's got family that live in London still. Does he want to change his life, go from Germany to England, which is not an issue for him at all. But then there's obviously offers from across Europe. Does he want to up his family and go to a different country altogether? It's going to be interesting. We have to remember the Bundesliga is a harder league than the Portuguese. Yes, without doubt. I do love the Portuguese league, but it's in terms of how many teams are competitive, it's not a huge number. You've got Braga, you've got Sporting Lisbon, FC Porto, you've got, 2, maybe 3 more that are decent teams, and the rest of them, without sounding too harsh, are pretty poor. So, yeah, with the Bundesliga, geez, that's hard. That is a hard league. They've got some good players over there, really good. And look, Leipzig had a bad season. There's no way of saying it. We'll get on to Martinelli shortly. But you're pretty much spot on there. You're going to get more for Martinelli than you're going to get for Trossard. Plus, we're going to have the luxury of having PSR kicking for Martinelli. We're not going to have that for Trossard. So, again, it's going to be much more sensible to sell Martinelli than it is anyone else. Anyway, let's get on to this slide. So Andrea doesn't want to overpay, and he won't. So, very much like Edu. Not much difference, if I'm honest. There is a fixed price. We know a market price. We obviously going to add a little bit extra on top of the market price, as you do. This is not buying a car. You don't just pay what it says on the sticker. You negotiate. And with football, you have a sticker price, and to tempt the team selling, you agree a little bit extra now and then. Now, some of these prices that we are going to be paying for some of these players have been agreed for an X amount of time. Not all of them. Some of them are new onto the scene. So, we've still got to try and work out how much someone's going to cost us. But eventually, we'll get there. So, overall, I'm not concerned. Right, let's have a look. Stark is saying, let's just have a look. Last we heard, Rodrygo was waiting to speak to Alonso before deciding on leaving. Do you know if these conversations have happened, and are Arsenal aware of the outcome? Anything on Kiko tweet? I think, is Kiko the Real Madrid dude? I'll be honest, I don't know everyone on the Twitter sphere. The situation with Rodrygo is they are still waiting for the green light to see if he will be leaving. From my understanding, is Real Madrid will not want to sell him, but are willing to sell him if he doesn't want to stay for a certain price. Obviously, they've just signed that young lad, haven't they? Whatever his name is, begins with an M. Now, I know that Rodrygo is not happy about that because obviously it affects him. So, yeah, I just don't rule it out. But I definitely don't rule out us buying a number 11, no matter what. Whatever happens, Rodrygo, I guarantee we'll get an 11. So I'm not concerned either way if it's not Rodrygo. because I like our backup plans anyway, so I'm fine about it. I'll be honest. Let's have a look. Dylan's asking here, what position in the front line is the most likely after Sesko? Could be a race. It will be a winger. Actually, you know what I'll do, Dylan? I'll just say it's definitely going to be a winger. I think the cam might take a little bit longer, if I'm honest. I think the cam situation could be finalised by the end of the month because there's obviously other situations that are occurring, which for some people, end of the month is a deadline for them. That might happen. If not, again, we would want him in for pre-season, so it won't be too much longer after that. But I do think the next player after Sesko will be a winger. I don't see the cam being that quick, if I'm honest. I think Madrid signing Franco isn't a good look for Rodrygo. No, yes, that's the dude. I can't think what his blooming surname is. Begins with an M. But yeah, it's if you just look at the squad at Real Madrid, you got Mbappe, you got Vinicius Jr., and you had Rodrygo. You then bring in this very talented young lad, and you got Gula as well. One just doesn't fit in that, and that's Rodrygo. So unless Xabi Alonso has got this marvelous plan up his sleeve, where he can involve everybody, which I personally don't see. It's going to be an interesting one. Rodgers is a situation to keep an eye on, personally. Not 100%, because, as Chris said here, Villa needs to sell someone. They do, but don't be too shocked if you see Villa selling to Newcastle, or Villa selling to Chelsea, or Villa selling to someone else that they're best buddies with. Plus, they have Hendrick. They do. They've got so for Real Madrid and Rodrygo, there's definitely a conversation that's got to be had. It will be had, but I know it hasn't happened yet. Now, obviously, they've got to register players today, so it'd be interesting if they do register Rodrygo, because then he will be going to the Club World Championships or whatever that bloody poopy pro competition is called. So yeah, that's something to keep an eye on. Right, let's move on to the next one. Now, this is the thing that I'm trying to tell everybody. I know it's very hard to listen to someone that's like, oh, what you want about? Just please relax. Let the games play out. The media are playing with your heart, and they are. They're playing with your heart because their job is to get traction. Their job is to make money. Their job is to fluctuate the betting markets. Unfortunately, that is quite a big part of it, is the betting markets, because the more someone looks like this, they're going to a certain club, the more it affects the transfer of the betting markets, which, trust me, betting companies make a lot of money out of transfers. They shouldn't do. They should have no part of it, because, trust me, the media would be very different with the way that they do stories. But it is what it is. Let's have a look. They are going to have to regulate this media frenzy. I wish they would. But I can guarantee you, Cole, they won't, because this is perfect. Not for the clubs. The clubs, the clubs don't have any part of this. This is not the clubs. This is agents. This is sponsors. This is all commercial stuff. This is just the dirty side of transfer business. It's not something I personally enjoy. I think it's disgusting. I personally don't recommend that there should be any betting involved in transfers. Personally, I just don't agree with it, because it makes everything murky for me, and I don't personally like it. I'll be honest, but it definitely won't get regulated, because this is perfect for a lot of commercial reasons. Right, let's quickly talk about Thomas Partey. Right, so as I did say, quite a few weeks ago that Thomas Partey will sign a new deal because there was a verbal agreement. And as I said, with a lot of these contracts, until you physically sign anything, it's not 100% done, which is why I always say it's 99.9% done. It's a phrase I use. I use it a lot. Now, Thomas Partey has done a U-turn. He's not happy about certain parts of the contract. There's nothing wrong with the contract, by the way. We're not stitching Thomas Partey up on anything here. Just Thomas Partey's decided to have a bit of a rethink. Do I think he'll stay? Yes. But we do have a backup plan if it doesn't go that way, which is fine. But that will have a knock-on effect to everything else we're doing in the market, which I won't be happy with. Now, me personally, I've been on about selling him for about 2 seasons now, and I wish we just had, because we would have got decent money with him last summer, but it is what it is. We're stuck in this position now. I think you can get a replacement for Partey respectfully 25 to 30 million quid, but that's 25 to 30 million quid we've got to find from somewhere. You know, we've kind of budgeted out with everything we want to do in the front line, defence, goalkeeper. We're kind of budgeted out. And to do this, we're going to have to sell someone of great significance, which I'm guessing Arsenal fans won't be happy with, because we've got to find the money somewhere to replace Thomas Partey, because we definitely cannot go into next season without replacing Thomas Partey. Doesn't matter if it's a 23-year-old kid. I don't care who it is. But we would have to replace him without doubt, because we would definitely be in doo-doo. So, yeah, let's have a look. Give me 2 sets, guys. Just getting the messages on this is actually quite tricky. It's not even that hard anymore. Right, if Partey has had his head turned, then who are we getting in? Agume is the player that we have been very keen on. He's very much like Thomas Partey. As far as I'm aware, he's got a release clause, which isn't that much, which I don't think we'd really want to have to pay the release clause, but we would probably find a way that we can pay it over in installments. So we'll pay him over the release clause price, which is what we've done for Zubimendi. But yeah, I'm not that concerned, because I do think Thomas Partey will stay. But yeah, I'm not as comfortable as I was. I was very comfortable before. So yeah, let's have a look what Michael's saying. I think it's disgusting that Sky Sports chuck rumours of transfers around 24/7, have their own betting. Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? It's incredible, that. I'll talk about influence in the market is dodgy. Oh yeah, 100%. I hate it. I really do hate it, Michael. Yeah. The funny thing is, I can guarantee these journalists are allowed to bet them as well. I can guarantee it. And that's the more disgusting part, because they will know what's a done deal and what's not. But yeah, it's a disgusting world. I said about Nana 2 seasons ago as a replacement. So did I. I wanted a Nana. We nearly got a Nana last season. But Thomas Partey stayed. And because we knew Thomas Partey was staying, we let Onana go. But Onana was pretty much ours last summer. All we had to do was just rubber stamp the deal. But Thomas Partey had to leave. Thomas Partey did not leave. So, yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, Agume is a very good talent. I do like him as well, personally. Let's have a look. I saw a thing that Fulham wants to sign Nelson permanently. How possible is that? Well, I will be talking about Nelson in a bit, but look, it's possible. There's no way Nelson stays. I don't expect to see Nelson in an Arsenal shirt next season. We might see him in pre-season just to make up the numbers, but yeah, I don't see Nelson in an Arsenal shirt next season. He will be sold, not for a lot, so don't get too excited about the money. But PSR will come involved in it. Sambi, he again will be sold. Yes, we've got him a new deal, but that's just protect his value. I'm not concerned about anything that happens. What happens with Sambi? Sambi will not be at Arsenal Football Club. He doesn't want to even be here. So if your player doesn't want to be here, then we will get rid of you one way or the other. Simple as that. The less said about this one, the better. Carl, nothing that you said wrong, mate. But yeah, I will get myself in a lot of trouble if I make any comment on that. Right. Let's move on. Zini to AC Milan. Now, I'm mixed on this one because AC Milan, my Italian team. So, look, Zini's a good player if you play him in the midfield. Now, obviously, Theo Hernandez is obviously going to Saudi, and Zini is being lined up as Theo's replacement, which is good for Arsenal fans. And from my Arsenal head, that's great. AC Milan head, I'm like, oh, for God's sake, not him at the left back. But look, if you're playing in midfield, he'd be fine. But left back, yeah, dodgy. Mind you, he might be better in Italy, in all fairness. But we'll wait and see. But yeah, I'll wait and see. Great video from Celtic for Katie's return home. Really wish it worked out better for him. Could have done a great rotation. Oh, 100%. I absolutely love him. But for people that don't know me, I'm a Rangers fan. So unfortunately, Kieran Tierney is dead to me now because he's playing for Celtic again. So he is dead to me. He's alive when he plays for Scotland. That's it. But he's now dead to me. Yeah, if we Leao. Yeah, I personally don't see Leao coming to Arsenal. I'll be honest. Yeah, I personally, if I was you guys, I would not think about Leao. Leao, if he did come to Arsenal, would upset a specific person at Arsenal Football Club, which we really wouldn't want right now. So yeah, I don't see it happening personally, but we'll wait and see. So yeah, let's wait and see. Right, let's move on. So yeah, Zini, it won't be much, by the way. Zini price between 10 to 15 million, if that. It won't be a lot, so don't expect much. Martinelli to leave. One to watch. Now, there's a few clubs that have been looking at Martinelli. Now, I don't think what they're willing to pay is anywhere near what Arsenal want to get. That's going to be the sticking point. You know, we want a substantial amount of money for Martinelli, and a lot of the clubs that are interested in, one, can't afford that kind of price, and two, aren't really willing to pay that price. So he's one that could leave, but in my opinion, if this was to develop, I expect it to be happening in July, August time. I don't expect it to be happening anytime soon. There's definitely no movement right now. Lookman is one to watch out for, but would be a definitely not first or second choice. It would have been, plan D, plan E is coming to operation for left wing. I'm not against it, but you don't want to be overpaying for someone of that age where you really don't have any value in him at all. You know, he'll do a very good job, but you know, it's a risk. It's a risk because I personally don't think Lookman's going to have a problem coming to the UK. But a lot of people go, "Oh, remember the last time he was in the UK?" Yeah, but things different. You know, players mature. So I have no major issues, but I don't think he'll be first. He's definitely not first choice. Kivior is one to watch out for again because of the first team aspect, which makes sense. You know, the centre back that we're looking at is willing to play squad rotation. not play every single game, just be there as a squad rotator. Kivior wants to play first team football and believes he can get that in Italy and other places, in all fairness. I think there's even been talk of staying in the Premier League. So that's one to watch out for. But Kivior's situation is definitely not cleared up right now. Again, don't forget we're only on the 10th of June, literally 10 days in. I know a lot of people are losing their heads going, oh, the window's been awful. It's literally 10 days. There is about 90 days of the window. We're only in day 10. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to go through yet. So there's going to be a lot of twists and turns. So be patient, people. So that's Kivior. Hein, in my opinion, Cole Hein will leave on a permanent now. Again, not a lot, 5 to 10 million quid if we're lucky. He's not going to come in and be number 3. What will happen is Setford will step up to the first team, which has already been happened anyway, and will be loaned out. Because we don't really need 3 goalkeepers, really. Something really has gone wrong if we have to dip into the third goalkeeper. If you look over all the time at Arsenal, we've never really had to go to the third goalkeeper. And then we've also got the youth. We've got Rojas, the young Colombian. So, yeah. I'm not too worried. Any truth to the Palace defender Gay? Yes, Gay is definitely one that is high up on our agenda. And there's only 1 year left on his contract as well. So the price is reasonable. It's one to watch out for. But again, right now, don't think anything will happen too soon when it comes to defences. We've got one locked in, and we're in day 10, and nothing's really going to happen about defence because we are focused on the forward line. That is the focal point of our window, is the forward line. Once we can get all that sorted, then we can finalise everything else. And obviously Zubimendi was important anyway, but that's mainly because Jorginho was leaving and we needed another DM. So, yeah. Forward line is the most important right now. Kudus, we have spoken to West Ham. And it's a case of Kudus wants out of West Ham. He wants to play Champions League football. Let's just wait and see. This one could be a bit of a drama, I'll be honest. There's quite a few teams in for Kudus. We're one of them. We're just going to have to wait and see. It is going to be, for me, quite dramatic, I think, for Kudus. But we'll wait and see. Big up to John saying, Bobbo! Never had my name put in so much excitement. Bobbo! So that's Hein. Any up for exits? There could be, but they're going to be very late in the window, in my opinion. Jesus is one just to keep an eye on. There could be a surprise along the way. Right now, I don't see anything crazy happening. But like I said, we're only on day 10. There is a lot to happen. People are still on holidays. People are going on holiday. There's a lot at the moment. This part of the window is a bit of a weird one because people are on holidays. As everyone knows, Mikel's on holiday. Players are on holiday. Players are getting married. Blah, 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 blah. There's just so much happening right now. And internationals as well. Jesus. Internationals. You got the club world, blah, blah, coming up. So, yeah, there's a lot still to happen. So it's going to be a bumpy ride. This is why I'm going to do the show twice a week just to keep you updated as much as I humanly can. Is Kudus being eyed for the cam position rather than the wing? Well, the good thing about Kudus is he is versatile. Now, with the cam, all the players that we have looked at, apart from one that I can think of, are all versatile. They can do more than one role. So we've definitely got no problem with having Kudu come in, where he can also cover the right wing. He can cover DM, because he can actually cover DM. He can do DM role pretty well as well. So it would be nice to have a versatile cam, which is why Kudu is one of them. And the other problem, or the other positive with Kudu is Kudu wants out, which weakens West Ham's position somewhat. So yeah, it's one to watch and one to keep an eye on personally. But yeah, I think it will be quite dramatic over the time. I think that covers all the other exits. I don't think there's anything else. Contract situations, as I said, don't be concerned about Saliba, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Waneri, Trossard. The only one really to keep an eye on is the Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey situation for me will be another week or two, mainly because I think he's in Ghana at the moment. There's some kind of football thing that he does. I think he's the ambassador of it or something. So yeah, it's mad. I think what's this? Mikel is on holiday. Does he not know the transfers to be done? Arteta out. Well, thankfully, Arteta's had his say, and now it's down to Andrea. Now it's down to Richard and Tim and all the important people at Arsenal to get the job done. Mikel doesn't need to worry about any of this. He's had his say. He only gets like pretty much a 5% say on this now. So enjoy his holiday. Enjoy Bogner or wherever he's gone. It's probably Spain, but I always like saying big up to Bogner. Positive news. All the WSL League matches to be played at the Emirates next season, which is fantastic for the women's game. They are dealing with the season ticket situation and stuff like that. Alongside this, we have also signed a contract with Boreham Wood to extend the deal with them. So Boreham Wood have, a continued relationship with us where we'll be playing our under 21s, under 18s there. The ladies will probably play League Cup and FA Cup games there. Maybe some Champions League games when necessary. But yeah, the best part of it is all the WSL games will be at the Emirates, which is fantastic. But we've also protecting Boreham Wood and our relationship with them, which is also fantastic, in my opinion. So yeah, that's always good news. I know a lot of people have been on about Matteo Tognozzi, possible role. So for some reason, people were really concerned about this news story. I don't know why. It's balmy. But with scouts and coaches, all their contracts run out the same time. Like end of May, end of June, end of July, depending on different. It differs at every club's, to be fair, and every different person's pretty much different. But it's May, June, July. That's when their contracts run out. Now, Tognozzi is a very good scout, but he will be playing a bigger role than just a scout. So he will be Andrea's deputy. So he will be controlling the scouting network. He'll be doing player lists, making sure the data and the analysis comes back is correct and what they need, all this kind of stuff. So I'm not concerned, I'll be honest. So yeah, it's all good personally, but this is a good appointment if it goes through. Thank God we get Knosey because we needed more people. Right, so Tim is a lawyer. I don't know how people think that Tim has a lot to say when it comes to the players. He has a lot to say when it comes to contracts and payment structures and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to the talent, it comes down to our data team, Andrea, Mikel, scouts, you name it. It's down to them. Nothing to do with Tim. I don't understand how this has got out into the Twitter sphere where Tim has any say. Tim has no say. He does his job. He deals with the lawyering stuff and the contracts. Nothing to do with player input whatsoever. But yeah, Tognosi would be Andrea's number 2 because Andrea does need some help because it is a big job. In all fairness. So yeah, it's a good appointment in my opinion. So yeah, all good, all good, all good. I think there's just this one left. Yep. So the commercial value for Arsenal is increasing, which is good, positive, right? Because everyone thinks I'm negative. But we need to continue. So when I say we need to continue, we need some success because with all these commercial deals that we've got, there's obviously a bog standard fee that you get. When you start winning stuff, you get a bonus. So we need to start winning basically, and doing well. As for Richard, no. Richard has been in the game very, very long time. He knows a lot more than people think. Don't forget, he actually had a role at the Premier League and the FA before he came to us. He's a very, very wise man. And yeah, he is doing a very, very, very good job. What I would say is they've been a great replacement to Vinay, who has now gone to Tottenham. And I'll be honest, it's a board level, it's a bit of a mess at the moment. There's been a huge fight at Tottenham since Vinay's gone in. So, and Vinay worked at us, and trust me, he caused some issues with us. So thankfully, that is now over and done with, thankfully. Right, let's see how I get this off because I have no idea. There we go. Oh, look at that. Wonderful. So that was easy. Right, so that is that. Let's have a look at the poll. Okay, let's have a look, see how that ended. So, do you feel our transfer will go? 58% people said good. Average 33. Bad 8%. I'm interested by the people that have said bad, in all fairness. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird one to have. That's me, so I've not commented. I don't know why that's in there. But guys, I will be back Friday. I do expect some developments this week, so just be wary of that. There will be more developments definitely next week. The next 2 weeks are pivotal for Arsenal. If the next 2 weeks don't go according to plan, then I think at the end of June we will have to have a serious conversation. But I think the next 2 weeks will definitely be positives. I don't see any negatives coming at the moment, apart from Thomas Partey. That's the only negative I can see coming. But I'm hoping it will be a positive. But we'll wait and see. But that's it. Appreciate everyone. Because I am done, and I hope this all wraps up really well because I've never closed this before. So really do appreciate everyone watching though. I have no idea how many's watching. Normally I say how many people are watching, but I haven't got a clue. So big up to everybody, and I shall speak to you on Friday. See you later. Bye bye.